He gives you little pieces every day you stick with him. It's almost like you're building your case and he keeps giving you more information. This morning it's peaceful earthquakes. Peaceful earthquakes. That's genius. Earthquake. You say earthquakes to someone, it freaks them out. You say peaceful, makes it sound like, you say peaceful alone, it makes it sound like you're full of shit. You say peaceful earthquakes, it's like, what? How could those be peaceful? This is why. This is how. Hey God, what's shaking, man? Anyway, so like that, and you'll see, that's how I'm going to email folks. I'm going to be like, yo, peaceful earthquakes. Here's the peace plan. Tomorrow's the earthquakes. Done. And then I was thinking about, in the book, in the mystery of God portion, I had to, it's just like, I feel like, I have the whole book written, so it's close, but then I'm like, I have these little ideas that unlock, and it's God, he's like, he gives you these little pieces. He's not talking to you or anything, but you're thinking about something, you're dwelling on it, and then bam, it's like, oh, that's what I'll do, and it's a setback because you have to go back and revise the book or the plan or whatever, but it's worth it because he's giving you these little gems, which kind of help deliver the message better, in more aligned in his way. So yeah, like, what was it? It was realizing that that the pixelation was his 90 seconds of divinity. He didn't need, people talk about, well, I talked to God. God didn't say shit to me. I had a thought, and boom, I got 90 seconds of pixelation. Because God doesn't need, God is perfect. So he's not going to sit there and be like, okay, well, X, Y, Z, here I am is like this fucking weird Hollywood looking thing that it can. No, bullshit. God doesn't do that. The human mind thinks, and then he responds in your body, for all human beings or whatever, with illness and pain and shit like that, if just as a way to bump you back into, into like his preferred behavior. Or in my case, it was, oh, we're all alone in the universe. Boom, pixelation. He doesn't need to sit there for fucking 45 minutes and, hash things out. He chooses one guy who lost everything, who's already proven himself, exposes himself to a lawsuit, keeps dwelling on it regardless. Boom. We're all alone in the universe. Pixelation, anoints him or confirms that one idea. And the only other 10 times that happened in the history of the human species was, maybe it was 11 times, because Moses had the burning bush and then he got the 10 commandments with pixelation. So maybe it was the 12th. I don't know. I wasn't there. But my point is, let's say it's 10 for the 10 commandments. Maybe the first pixelation was when he's like, I'm God. That's the first commandment. It's, I'm God. There's no other gods. That was his first. And then there's 9 more after that, which then he drafted into the 10 commandments. My point is this. He did this. This is the 11th time with the 11th time was we're all alone in the universe. That's it. He's God. He doesn't need to fucking sit there. He's not going to tell you. He's going to probably lose points in his simulation that way. But anyway, that's the most important, or that's the 11th revelation aside from the 10 commandments. It's the 11th commandment, which just reiterates the first commandment, which is there's one God, there's no other gods. We're all alone in the universe just reiterates that. It doesn't change anything. It just confirms. So that was kind of important to touch on again. So, I'm thinking about it when I wrote the Mystery of God section at the end of the book. I'm like, well, I probably should, when I talk about my pixelation, include the fact that it was perfect. It's the only thing we need to know. There's no more fear. It removes fear from the fucking equation, because you don't need to hide behind, some leader or lawyer or, whatever, politician. You don't need to be afraid anymore. There's no fear out there. We already know all the variables involved in the world, in the universe, with that piece of information. You don't need to know fucking anything else at all. So that's what I got. It gives you these pieces as you're going through your journey, And if you stop your journey, you don't get these pieces anymore because you're not thinking about it, and he's not giving you your little revelations, which he's not communicating them to you. Your mind is unlocking them, but it's happening on his schedule. It's quite an interesting system.